Hello, quick video on how to do decimal math. This should all be a review from last year, but you probably haven't done decimal math in five months. So, and that's fine. Nobody does decimal math for all practical purposes. So, just quick review on how to do this thing. Okay, well, you have addition and subtraction are basically the same. With when you're dealing with decimals, here you have 6.1 minus 18.7. The way to do this, first of all, one is positive, one is negative, so you take the difference between the two. So you just, this is the key to doing this decimal stuff with addition and subtraction, is you line everything up really neatly. So wherever the decimal points are, you put them there and you line everything up really, really neatly, okay? The decimals have to be right on top of each other. Once you do that, then you just do math the regular way. Just ignore the decimal, just carry it down and just do the math the regular way. 18.7 minus 16.1, you just do the math the regular way, you get 12.6, and then you have to figure out whether it's positive 12.6 or negative 12.6. It's a negative 12.6 because the 18.7 is a higher absolute value. Okay, so we did that. Now, what about this problem? Negative 9.1 equals s divided by 7.12. It's just like this problem here. You see 4 is equals s divided by 2. How do you solve this? You multiply both sides by 2. We all know that, right? So you do 2 times 4 is 8, and then you get rid of the 2's here, and you get that. You do the same thing here, except it's a pain because you have this 712. You have to multiply both sides by 712. So that knocks out the 712 on this side, but now you're stuck with this thing. Negative 9.1 times 7.12. This is a pain, and this is why you have to review decimal math. So how do you multiply two decimals together? You write them down and you do the math ignoring the decimals. Totally ignore the decimal points that are here. Okay? You just multiply 712 by 9 by 91, and you get this number, 64792. Now you have to place the decimals. It's really not that hard. You just count the number of decimal places you have on these two numbers. Here you have 1, 2, 3, right? You have 3 decimals there. So then you move the decimal point over 3 places, and you have the answer. Notice that I would have gotten this question wrong because I was so intent on doing the multiplication correctly that I forgot to carry the negative sign. See, the answer really is negative 64.792. This happens all the time. You're like, so you're so proud of doing probably the hardest part of the problem that you forget something in the problem at the final answer. Don't make the same stupid mistake I did. The answer is negative 64.792. But the important thing is how to do this mathematical thing with the decimals, okay? Multiplying decimals, okay? Now, you're going to have a similar problem to like this one, negative 2j equals 16. Divide both sides by negative 2, j equals negative 8. You're going to have this thing, negative 0.96, j equals negative 0.72. You divide both sides by negative 0.96. Don't worry that negative 0.96 is a weird number. It's a decimal. It's just a number. It's just like 2, except it's different. It's negative 0.96, but it's just a number. You divide both sides by this number, and you are stuck with this answer, negative 0.72 divided by 0.96. The two negatives cancel out, and the answer is 0.72 divided by 0.72 divided by 0.96. And now you have to do the math, the long division to this thing. You have to know how to deal with negative numbers in doing division. Okay? So, what do you do here? You put the two decimals on top. You write this thing as a long division problem. And you can never have, you could never, ever have a decimal in this number. I guess this is called the divisor, right? You can never have a decimal in this number. So what you have to do is you have to move the decimal over on both of them until you don't have a decimal in the divisor anymore. Okay, so in this case, there are 2 of them in 9.96, so you have to move this over twice. Dot, dot, you have to move this over twice, dot, dot, and that gives you 96 divided by 96, 72 divided by 96. Okay, 96 goes here. Now, if you have a problem like 72 divided by 9.6, There's only one decimal here, so then you just move it over 1, right? So you get 96 divided by 720. So you move the decimal over as many times as necessary to get rid of it, but you have to do it on both numbers. Okay, if for some reason you forget, and it happens to me all the time, if you have a problem like this and you don't remember which number goes in the doghouse and which number goes outside the doghouse, write down a really simple example off to the side, like 10 divided by 2. What does that look like? Well, that looks like 2 divided by 10 is 2. At 10, 2, that looks like this. It looks like this. 10 divided by 2 looks like this. 10 is in the doghouse, 2 is outside the doghouse, and you get this answer. So this tells you that the denominator of the fraction goes outside the doghouse, and the 10 goes inside the doghouse. Okay, so that's how you do this. Then you have to do the long division. Okay, so you just put the dot there for 72, and you start doing the long division. 7 times 96 is 672. You write this, you do the math, and you get this done. Okay, and then you get the answer is J.75. I just realized as I'm doing this video that there's actually an easier way to do this. You can divide 72 and 96 by 2. So that would be 36 divided by 48, right? And then you get 36 divided by 48 is what? 18 divided by 24. And then you can divide 18 by 24 by like 9 over 12, right? And 9 over 12 is like 3 over 4, and that's 3/4. So it turns out, actually, that I was sort of stupid here, but I wanted to go over division of decimals. But maybe you'll be lucky on the test, and if you had decimals, you could simplify this fraction, 0.72 over 96. And then you can see that it's just 3 over 4, and 3 over 4 is clearly 0.75. Or you leave the answer as 3 over 4. So, but you may have to know how to do this, okay? You may have to know how to do this on the test. So that's why I'm going over it. I'm going over it more to show you how to do decimal division. If you have to, you just get rid of these decimals by moving the decimal over here and moving it over the same number there. Okay, I hope this helps, and good luck, and of course contact me anytime with questions or anything, and good luck on the test. Bye-bye.